Hey guys, welcome to our podcast, The Conscious Kitchen.
I'm Liz, a 21st century hippie, and by that I mean I'm into all things plant-based, eco-friendly, but I hug my laptop as much as I hug trees. I'm also a photographer and marketing consultant who works with brands trying to reach conscious consumers around the world. Laura and I call LA home. We know our city and we want to share the stories of women around us. Fashion, lifestyle, politics, inspiration, and food, we'll talk about it all.
Hey guys, I'm Laura, a modern-day Renaissance woman, designer, entrepreneur, and a creative director for all things fashion, music, and lifestyle. I do a little bit of everything. I love beauty, I indulge in wellness, and I love to eat. I can't wait to tell you more. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Conscious Motherfucking Kitchen.
AKA the Conscious Raver Den.
Yes, we are recording from Madrid, Spain.
Yep.
It's 8 p.m. here, and Liz is in our infamous rave cave of the Yellow House in Chinatown.
Yes.
In LA.
Over here, it's 11 a.m.
Yes. So, guys, we wanted to just do a recap of this whole season and just kind of catch up with our lives, me and Liz. I feel like we've kind of didn't have a chance to really dive deep into a lot of our personal things and lifestyle things we're really into. So this episode, I think we're going to be able to do it. And it's not going to be so serious or like talk about any of the hard-hitting topics we've covered this past season, but it's going to be more lighthearted and fun.
Yes, just more info on us, what we're up to, what we've been up to. A nice little update on all the things that we've been working on, which is a lot.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
It's like, what are you up to, Liz? You're like, well, I have clients and taking care of my dog that's recovering and doing art shows. I feel like it's hard because when you hear people like, oh, I'm doing so much, it's kind of like, wow, are they really getting anything done? You know? It's like, yeah, but I mean, I think that's the beauty of our generation is that we create our own rules. We are freelance entrepreneurs and we kind of make our own schedule. But there are some hard parts about being an entrepreneur too, you know?
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah. A part that I think I haven't told you about that I've been just working on myself in the terms of I have to find more new clients for what I've been doing. But I kind of don't want to do that anymore. So I really want to do something different. So now I'm trying to figure out, all right, what do I want to do? What direction do I want to really head in now that I can be the master of my own destiny doing this freelance thing? But the freelance thing is hard. We really got to budget and plan out your life. And sometimes things are going well. And sometimes you're like, wait, I kind of want to do something different. And that's what's happening now.
Right? Yeah. I know. It's like
even for Laura, I know you're going through that too.
Yeah, I am kind of going through that, and I've just been doing a lot of investing in myself as far as just kind of. I just started getting into YouTube now since I started my YouTube channel, and going into all these like videos of like understanding finance and stocks and like how to be a self-made millionaire and all these things. And it's like, wow, this information's been out for so long. And it's finally taking me this many years to finally dive into it, because you do get into these holes on YouTube, you know? It's like, then it's like the celebrity makeup, and then it's like this. And it's like, so I feel like I'm getting pulled in so many different directions. But I think this year, since I've been kind of taking a break, but still doing all my other entrepreneurial businesses on the side, is really definitely taking the time to do art and investing in knowledge and investing into myself. So I feel good about that because I know in time that I'll be able to put it into something, you know?
Yes, for sure. And so how is the mentoring going? Because, you know, you started doing this mentorship, and tell us about mentoring and what you've been doing with that.
Yeah. So I've been, I was like, I have so much information for the past 12 years of like fashion business, creating a 6-figure online store and creating like a marketing campaign and dealing with customer service and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, this is like valuable information that like a young entrepreneur can like, if they hate their job, they can create their own business. And like, we have all the tools that now in our generation, like Shopify and Instagram and all these tools. And I was like, I have to put this information out. So on my YouTube channel, I'm creating a 2-part series of the road to success. And then so it talks about business. It talks about like ways to use your credit and how to build credit. It talks about ways to finance like your startup. So it's like it took me, it's like almost an hour long. So I'm still editing it in Final Cut Pro, but
Nice.
I think that information, even if it like people already know about this, it's good because anybody from different age groups can like be like, oh my god, I didn't know about that. So I
Yes.
just want to give back this year and trying to give that free information out. And that that has helped with my mentoring. So right now I'm mentoring two people. One awesome girl that I'm in mentoring, her name is Jenny. She's from Miami, and she's kind of like starting from scratch, learning how to build a business, like a screen printing online business. So I'm kind of
Cool.
helping her with, she's creating her logo. So I'm like, okay, tell your story. Like these are some websites you could use to create the graphic design. And she's like,
Yeah.
she's very thankful that I'm mentoring her, but I'm getting more out of it than what she's getting from me. Like I'm learning so much from just mentoring her. So it's been
Right.
really like, it's just like an hour, maybe once a week. But I feel like that's like my besides doing this podcast and giving away like free information, that's also my way of giving back
Yes.
to people.
Yeah, that's always really cool. You know, everyone whenever you teach someone something, you're relearning things too because you're explaining and you're going into looking through your brain to find out what you have in there to present to someone.
Yeah, and I think that you see all these the most successful people in America, like the 1%. They're constantly reading. They're constantly,
Right.
like surrounding themselves with successful people. Constantly using their community. Like I just watched the first half of the Bill Gates documentary on Netflix,
Oh
and
yeah, I'm watching that
yeah,
too.
it's so great. What do you think about it?
So interesting. It's really interesting. I mean, I think I watched the first two episodes because it's an episodes a series, and I learned a lot about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation,
Yes.
and which is, you know, they're doing great work. I'm looking forward to just watching more of it and learning more about Bill Gates as a person because I think these
Yes.
people that are such crazy innovators have such interesting stories.
Yeah.
His being one of them, you know, dropping out of college, similar to Steve Jobs, and just kind of pursuing whatever he was going to pursue.
Yeah, but there's a part in the documentary where he's like asking colleges like around the world, around the nation, how to come up with a like proper pop proper plumbing system for the toilets and public sanitation
Yeah.
and all these things. So they
Yeah.
were like dumbfounded and they couldn't find a solution. So they asked like
Yeah.
all the colleges in the nation, and he has access to that because everyone knows he's like the richest person in the United States. So they're gonna listen
I
to, if
know.
he has like if he needs a answer to a question, who's like everyone's gonna be willing to help. So I think
Yeah.
that's really interesting is like using your community, even though he could be living in his own bubble, being like a multi-billionaire, he's still like,
Right.
no, 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 no. Like, there's so many amazing, smart college students that
Yeah.
are good at this. Like, it's so cool to see him like how the way his brain works. You're right.
Well, I think what was interesting about that part of it too was that he knew that people weren't just gonna invent this on their own, that there needed to be some sort of bigger incentive. And so he went out and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put out this big lump sum of money and let the world innovate this versus trying to find a company that's gonna do it, trying to find people to make it work. He just was like, I'm just gonna let somebody do this on their own instead of going to some company or doing it a different way.
It's all about community, man, and just
Yeah, super cool.
there's this other documentary on Netflix that's out about people not understanding their diagnosis to like what they've been diagnosed, like these chronic illnesses. And this doctor
Yeah.
from the New York Times, she is putting an article out every week online, or I forget like through the newspaper or through actually online. And they're like, okay, this is the person, these are their symptoms, and they can't find what's wrong with them. So people from around the world are sending in what they think. It's from like normal people to doctors to nurses to like scientists. Like, so people are gathering all the best information, and then people have actually targeted their chronic illness, and
Whoa.
there's no way that like their local doctor couldn't figure it out,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
through the internet and through social media, people have gathered different parts of information and finally found out the right diagnosis and got proper treatment.
Dang, that's so cool. What's that show called?
I forgot. but I'm sure if you just Google it, it'll come up. But it's amazing
Okay.
because yeah, it's amazing because um, these people are really like crippled by their diagnosis. They can't figure it out. They can't figure out what their symptoms is. And she put it on the internet, and someone from like Switzerland was like, "Oh, this is the cure. This is the treatment you need." And what's crazy is that Switzerland, like a cure in Switzerland, they're like, we'll do it for free because it's actually we get information from these medical testings. So they gave her like the treatments for free instead of like what's going on in the United States about healthcare. Like there was no option for her here, and she had to go
Right.
all the way across the world to get treatment.
I know. I mean, I know a lot of people that go to other countries, Germany and Europe, to get medical help because yeah, our medical system. I mean, it just is. It's trial and error finding a good doctor and
Yeah,
finding someone that will really dedicate the time to properly diagnose you because you see it. It's like sometimes doctors. I think sometimes doctors can be lazy.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
but I
And,
just that's my experience.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's also lack of data too. You know, if
Yeah.
they're not willing to like okay stop everything and kind of dive deeper because they have to just deal with more patients, it's like it's hard for
Yeah.
people to like stop and re-educate themselves and like really do clinical studies, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I have a new just general doctor,
uh-huh.
and I feel like she's around our age, maybe a little bit older, but she's so interesting because every time I talk to her about different things that I have going on, the treatments that she suggests are different probiotics, more natural cream, like natural things
Yeah,
versus it just being like, oh, here, take this antibiotic, and it's that, and it was so refreshing to have her give me different alternatives.
yes,
I really enjoyed that. So it was nice. So I hope that continues to happen within like the medical field as our generation starts being the people that are becoming doctors and learning as doctors or just
yeah,
becoming older doctors.
yeah, I love that, you know, the holistic practitioners. Shout out to, you know, people that are trying to do the natural um way of healing, you know.
Yeah, that's what we should have next on a podcast. We got to find a holistic practitioner of some sort or doctor. That'd be cool.
I mean, there's plenty of them in Los Angeles for
Oh yeah,
sure.
for sure. I know. So tell me, so now that we're talking about that, tell me about how everything has been in Spain.
So Spain, wow. I mean, it's been almost 8 months since I moved here, and just to kind of unpack everything has been. I'm trying to like write. Obviously I write in my journal and all these things, but I think
Yeah.
more than ever, um, it is great because I feel like there's so many different relationships I was catering to that I really narrowed down like my friendships, and I have a really small tight knit group of friends that are my extended family, and it's so great because I get to talk to them more. I feel like more our bonds got even closer, and
Yeah.
all the extra energy I was putting out and giving to all these different groups of people kind of just disappeared, and now I funnel that energy into my arts and projects. So, you know,
Nice.
so I think that Madrid is really cool. I've been trying to hang out with more older women too, like around 70 years old. They're
Yeah,
artists,
that's so
and
cool.
so I've been trying to hang out with just older women, kind of understanding like where their journey is, and just trying to hang out with different people out of my circle, so I can kind of get a
Yeah.
different perspective on life here.
Yes, like out of a totally different circle, not someone that has too much in common with you
Yeah,
is so interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been
So
watching you and the friendships flourish.
yes, yep. I know. How's everything over there in LA?
Yeah, so LA is hot and it's been such an interesting summer, right? Because our summer kind of came late, so it's been hot and interesting and it still feels like summer, so it's been things are happening over here in LA. Lots of different events, always different things occurring and music and all that kind of stuff. And then personally for me, LA has just been a place where I've been channeling my clarity and just really trying to see, all right, what am I gonna, what do I want to do next? So I've been really trying to tap into LA and the people that I have around me. And if I have an idea of something that I want to do with them, I'm just going for it and just be like, hey, I have this idea. I want to do this. Are you down?
Yes.
So I'm just following my intuition. And usually I wouldn't really pursue certain types of projects that are popping up in my mind, but now I just feel like I should just pursue them. And so I'm just putting my ego and insecurity aside and just telling people it. And if they're down, they're down. And if they're not, then it was a good practice in me pushing past feeling insecure to pitch someone something, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think that's
So
good.
that's
That's
been so,
great.
yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I think, I mean, it's your intuition is kind of also, it's not just your intuition, it's also when you're around like a quiet time or a quiet place, it's also your heart talking to you. You know, it's like what
Yes.
your heart's been
Yeah.
wanting. It's what your heart's trying to say. It's what your heart is trying to tell you. It's what your heart is trying to tell your
Yes.
brain. So, you know, stay curious.
But
Stay
sometimes
curious.
our brain gets in the way, you know, because our
Mm-hmm.
brain's like, wait, you don't really want to do that, or you do, or you don't, you know. It's
Yeah.
so this time I'm really trying to push the brain away and just being like, you know what, you
Yes.
go over there. I don't really need you right now.
Yes.
So it's been interesting and too, and I think one of the things that has been propelling this clarity that I've been having is I've never been a person to carry around stones, you know, the gemstones like amethyst and all those kind of things. People
Uh-huh.
have always, you know, we have friends that have always just they carry them around everywhere.
Yeah.
I've never been one of those people,
The
but
new
a few weeks ago,
the new wave of crystal
yes.
healing.
Yeah, I've always had crystals, yeah, but I just never, and I wore them as part of like jewelry and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
not in my pocket. And a few weeks ago, I had a client that needed help with a nonprofit animal rescue, and they were just having an event, so I went to take some photos and do some Facebook stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a lady doing just giving out crystals and doing crystal readings, and I met this lady, and she gave me, and I picked this stone that I can't remember what it's called, but I picked it because it really felt like it was calling me, and I picked it up,
Wow.
and it turned out that that stone is really a stone for manifesting and really just having you show up for yourself. And so she said, you know what, just put it like in your bra or just put it in your pocket wherever and just carry it around. And I was like, okay. And I thought about it. And then again, I had that moment where it was like, oh, my brain is usually like, nah, you don't need to carry that. But my gut was kind of like, you should carry this. So I've been carrying it for almost a month now.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I've just been putting it in my bra, and sometimes it'll fall, and Chris will be like, what the hell is that?
Like, no, it's not a cocaine bag, I promise.
And it's so funny. But I feel like it's been helping in a way.
Dude,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
these are ancient rocks from the deep crevices of the earth. They have some sort of spiritual clairvoyancy
Yes.
power. Who knows, you know?
Yes.
You know, better
So
that
true.
than things the artificial stuff.
Yeah. And now that we're in our 30s, you know, it's time to, I don't know, now just push the brain out and push the insecurities and just not worry about that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah, I agree. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I battle with myself every day for sure. Like,
Every
I don't know,
day.
it's hard because we're so heavily on social media. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're taking like a week detox or a month detox, which is a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that I deal with so much. I think before when I first started feeling like the doubt of comparison, like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. I slowly started understanding, especially with this podcast and just speaking to so much people, that I am on my own path, and those people's lives are not what it seems online, and all
Mm-hmm.
these things. And I think that's kind of, it helps ease the anxiety and helps ease the stress. But I think that
Yeah.
you know, with all this, I feel a bit better. But it's still hard. I still feel like a crippling thing about that. You know?
For sure. But you took a really big step in pursuing singing and making music. And I want to know about that. Tell me,
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe we can play the song.
Yeah, we should definitely put it in here in the podcast.
Yay. Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I think so. My dad passed away when I was 17, and shout out to dad out there in heaven.
Yes, rest in peace.
But he passed away when I was 17, and like he would always sing. He'd always sing like Frank Sinatra and like sing like Billie Holiday, and like, you know, when your parents do things, you always think it's super annoying. But I
Right.
forgot that I have that part of me in my childhood. I guess I somehow like blocked it out. I don't know, from trauma or what. But
Yeah.
our Christmases, all of my aunts and uncles would be like playing the guitar, and my aunts would be singing on the piano, and a lot of my
Wow.
cousins still sing, and it's like, and so I kind of understood like the how to use your vocal range and all these things. And I've always was like, damn, like if I had my other like dream life, it would be to be a touring musician. And so I don't know. I never pursued that. I just went into fashion because fashion, it was something I started doing since I was like high school and to college, and
Right.
then owning a business for 13 years. So um I met my boyfriend's best friend Masha. She's a Russian jazz singer. She lives in the beach here in Spain, and we started trading musical singing classes for me
Yeah.
editing her closet. So I've been
Whoa,
editing her.
yeah, I love that. Let's talk about that again. Let's loop back to that again,
Okay.
but keep going.
So basically, this magical Russian teacher, and she was like, it's not just your voice, that people that have insecurities about their voice is because something happened to them as a teenager that like makes them so insecure that they're never secure about singing. And I was like,
Right.
holy shit. When I was 14, this girl Marlene was like, dude, you sing too much, like in the car, like while we were like in
Really?
high school bumping our music. And she was like, you sing too much. And thing is,
Oh,
as a Filipino person, it's like ingrained in our culture and our heritage to sing karaoke, sing out loud.
yes.
It's, and like for other cultures, they look at us and they're like, dude, yeah, you do sing too much. Like, what the hell?
Dude, yeah, but I mean that's like expression and shit. And yes, you're
Yes.
totally right. I think that is a part of it. It is a part of the culture and Filipinos' hearts. It really is of
Yes.
singing and dancing
Singing.
and
Oh my
performing.
God, entertainment all day. So
Yes.
so I never stopped. I would try to sing in high school. Even like at family parties, I would get stage fright. I'd freeze up, and I never sang after I was like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember like sometimes like throughout my 20s, I would get really high, and then I'd sing. And then when I sang, I was just like, damn, like, why do I have the courage now only when I'm high to sing and like be free and let
Yeah.
go? Is because I kind of like, maybe I like muted the emotional insecurity I had. And then I would sing and it felt so good. So I've taken 3 classes with Masha now, and
So
she's
cool.
teaching me like vocal pitch and like kind of increasing my confidence in singing and understanding the breath work. And it's super intense. It's like the whole hour I have with her,
Yeah.
it's like 40 minutes of just breathing and vocal range and
Yeah.
these methods of training, like the same kind of training that Michael Jackson used when he was preparing to sing a song. And then it would
Wow,
be the
yeah.
rest would be like actually just singing like a song. So
Yeah.
I've had 4 classes with her, and I feel a bit more confident and just kind of like singing and just being silly and not giving a fuck. So it's been fun and
Yes.
freeing. And
I
then,
know.
yeah.
I miss your singing, you know, after cuz you would sing in the house sometimes and I would always be like, "Laura, can you just sing more? Make a song, make a song." And so now I missed your singing when you moved to Spain. I was like, "Oh, I miss Laura." Now we get to play your song. So Laura made 3 songs
Yes. Super
and
random. Super
they're up on
random.
SoundCloud already, right?
Yeah.
SoundCloud?
Yeah, we made this quick
Yeah.
one random rainy night here in Madrid. We went to our friend Nasita's house. She's like this amazing lesbian artist, and she was like, hey, I sat down in her studio and I was like, let's make music. So me, my boyfriend, and Nasita sat down for 4 hours in like the
So
pouring rain
cool.
and just created crazy music. Like one was like
Oh,
a a rock track. Another track was like more trip hop, slow instrumental, and then the other one was like
yeah.
dance hip hop. I mean dance techno music. So
I love it.
yeah, it was just fun, and I can't wait to experiment more and kind of like let
Yeah.
go of my inhibitions. And who cares if no one ever hears my music, as long as that I'm
Yes.
like doing something that like when I was singing, like every cell in my body was like singing and like happy and like, damn, this is something I have to do. Even if it's a
Yeah.
hobby, as long as I could do it and just kind of free myself from this hindrance that I've been trying to like a little shell inside of like a clam inside a shell, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I think every time that we practice that, making ourselves uncomfortable and pushing past insecurities, we get stronger for sure. And it's just a matter of time before we knock down another one and another one. So it's such good practice to just keep doing it and just like you said, you're making this for you and putting it out there. It's for you to just put it out into the world and enjoy and have fun. And that's what we're supposed to be here to do.
Right? Like music, and
Yes.
like music touches so many people's souls and
Mhm.
relates to some people going through breakups. And uh,
Yeah.
it's so healing and it's cathartic for me. So I know, I mean, it's just fun to experiment, and it's great. My boyfriend's a professional music producer, so it doesn't hurt that he
Yes.
can master like 3 tracks and our
Fuck yeah.
voices just literally in 4 hours, and one song would take someone like for
Isn't that's like such a blessing? Like, dang, that like fate worked out that way. Dude, it's amazing. And Russ is amazing. Shout out to Russ.
shout out to Russ,
Check him out.
our
Check him
technical
out.
producer.
Yes.
Our
He
technical
is. He is
producer
the
for
third.
this for the Conscious Kitchen. He's the third.
Yeah.
And Brian is
He's the
and our
third
homie Brian is
piece.
the fourth.
Yes. Yeah, it's so cool. So what else have you been pushing past and learning in your 30s now?
You know, I mean, I think my 30s is just great. I feel like, you know, I realized I am at war with myself, and if I'm lagging on anything, it's because of me. It's like, oh, I could do it next week. I could do it next week. It's like, if you start now, like you're one step closer. You're one step closer to the dream, or one step closer to your goal. It's like, just stop with the excuses. And it's so hard,
It's
right,
so
Liz?
hard.
As entrepreneur,
so
like
hard.
freelance, it's so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard in general, even for work, but even just for myself. You know, we can make any excuse. Everything is an excuse, and I think sometimes we try to stick to those things because it's the easier way out versus confronting something that you're afraid to do, or really planning something and getting it done. But you're right. Once you start doing it, you just start doing it. It's just like it goes off. Like this podcast, you know, we had been talking about the podcast for how long?
A year.
And then finally we were like, dude, let's sit down, let's do this shit. Who cares if it's not perfect? Let's just do it. And now we've been doing it for months, and we have 8 episodes, and
can you believe
you
it?
just gotta decide what
Yes,
you want to do.
our first episode, I think, was December 8th, and somehow we got mics with little investment. I'm borrowing a friend's has this insane $1,200 microphone we're borrowing. Beats by Dre, shout out to Beats by Dre sending us headphones.
Shout out
you
to
know, I mean, you really don't, it doesn't matter like how you're going to get there. You really just need to set the plan and just attack it and ask
For
people.
sure.
That's the hardest thing, is asking for help. That's the hardest part.
Definitely.
You know? But,
Definitely.
you know, we're doing this podcast as a labor of love. It's not for anyone's gain. It's really just telling everyone stories, and our community needs that. These stories to relate to.
The world needs it. Yeah, the world just needs more people to relate to and to personify different types of personalities and different types of stories, like you said, and backgrounds. And that's what we hope to continue to do. And if there's ever something that you really want us to do an episode on, please email us, Instagram message us, and we'll find someone here in LA and we'll make it work.
Yeah, exactly. You know, community is the key, is the juicy word, community.
Yeah.
And I
what
think,
do you think? What do you think? Yeah. Sorry.
oh no, I think that you know, majority of the time people are like, how do I do, like, how am I gonna do this, or how am I gonna get there? It's like some of these stories might have the answer to what you're looking for. So it's like, tune in, guys, learn more.
Yeah. Right. For sure.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so let's get to some fun stuff.
Yes.
What have you been shopping for fall?
What have I been shopping for fall?
Anything?
You know, I really lately I always only shop at thrift stores. I try really hard to buy all my clothing at thrift stores, everything basically.
Amazing.
Literally everything.
So break it down on why you use thrift stores. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers about why they shop vintage now, and I understand their perspective, but I want to hear your perspective.
Yeah, I've been doing this thing for a long time, like this thrift store shopping. I've been, I have a lot of, I think, experience in thrifting. I've been doing it since I lived in New Jersey, and I used to go to all the thrift stores, and sometimes I wouldn't walk out with anything, and I would just rummage through things and find things, and I really love it. I love it because, to me, everything that I buy, I know there might be another one out there somewhere, but everything to me feels one of a kind. You know, I love finding vintage things, and no hate on like the places that resell, but that's just not my style. Like I prefer to find come ups. Like I want to find a vintage jacket for $5. That is fucking dope. You know?
Yes. And the quality.
So that's kind of what I do.
The quality is just not the same.
So and the quality from the vintage stuff is so nice. And so I go to all the different thrift stores. Every city that I visit, I try to stop at least 1 to 2 thrift stores. Chris is super on board with this, and so since we travel a lot, we're always able to stop at least 1 or 2.
Yes.
And I always leave a little bit of extra room in my luggage so I can like bring stuff back too.
Yeah, I love
That's important. Yeah, and so
Um,
then I just
I love the pieces you
scoured.
get. You always have
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
best, like Liz always gets these really fun, whether the pattern, whether it's like these
yeah.
trims, like always something shiny, always something different, and
Yes.
always something that's completely different. So I love that you don't really have a particular style, but it's definitely eye
No.
catching, you know,
Yeah.
and I
No
think
style, just like fun, and I just want to be fun.
yes, Liz is a real life fairy, guys.
Oh, I know. I wish I could just float all
She's
day
literally
like
a
a
real
butterfly.
life fairy. It's insane.
Oh,
Um,
yes. I will go to the next level when I can float around for the rest of my life.
yes. So
So
it's
yeah,
autumn here in Madrid, and
yeah.
so yeah, I've been trying to find something thick, you know. But yeah, I mean, going back to the
You
vintage.
bought a you got a jacket, right?
Yes. So going back to
Yeah,
the vintage part, I totally agree with you. I love to mix high and low, and I think
yeah.
that it's just this thrill you get, and you're
Mm-hmm.
also helping with not by buying brand new things, you
Exactly.
know, and helping with because how much waste is there? Do you know how much waste there is in just clothing consumption?
So, the clothing industry is one of the most wasteful industries,
And that's what I feel like people
beyond
don't
it,
highlight. It's like you're highlighting all this
yeah.
plastic. It's like clothing waste and fast fashions were way worse.
I mean, they're all everything is equally as bad because they're all I feel like animal agriculture, the clothing industry, and plastic, like they're all just, their own level of not good for the planet and not good for humanity. Because
Right.
with fast fashion, it's not just about producing things that no one's gonna buy and producing things at a low cost and not worrying about the textiles and the materials that it's made in. It's also about who's making your clothing.
Yeah.
And that's super important because all around the world, women are making our clothing. And those women are only getting paid a few dollars. And they're working all day to just earn these few dollars. And, as a feminist or feminist issues to be looked at, that's definitely one of the things that all of us women should be looking at because we shouldn't be supporting industries that are not taking care of women that are head of the household, that have children, that are providing for their families. And these companies are selling their clothing that they produce at a very low cost for triple, quadruple the amount of time just to kind of get high salaries for their VPs. It's like, really, those people that are making it should be getting those salaries, not your VPs.
Exactly. And you
But
know, it's there's only like one and it's crazy. I feel like there's not enough coverage on it too.
yeah.
The Netflix movie The Cost of or what's it called?
So yeah, on Netflix right now there's a movie called The True Cost, and that's a really great documentary. It really
Amazing.
highlights a lot of the stories of different women, different companies, and it shows you fast fashion, H&M and Forever 21 and all
Mm-hmm.
those companies, that buying something from them, the implications are greater than just walking out of the store with a shirt that you're going to wear for a few months.
Exactly.
So yeah, so shopping at thrift stores is just there's so many things that already exist. Why not just use the things that exist?
Exactly. I think, you know,
Yeah.
our generation, like social media, it's like, okay, well, you know, Balenciaga, Hermes, it's like, it's more for the status and it could be for the quality depending
Right.
on who it is. But I definitely
Right.
think that, um, you know, there's not even enough coverage for people to think about it. Like, why am I buying
Right.
Zara at fast fashion? You know, like there's not enough coverage. So I think there needs to be more coverage and to see what the
Yes.
big global impact is for clothing waste, you know?
Well, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be a conscious consumer because the world is really changing and people are looking into things before they buy something. So
Exactly.
it's a time now where companies are finally catching on and
Hell yeah.
making their own versions of more eco-friendly slash
Yeah.
ethically produced things.
Yes.
However, we all need to be really careful because there are companies that will do greenwashing, and greenwashing is like a term in marketing where they say that they are, let's say, ethical and that they're producing something of good quality, but really there's no marketing laws, so they can be really saying whatever they want. So
Exactly.
as a conscious consumer, we really need to invest, go on their website, read everything, email them, ask them direct questions, like make sure that we know 100% what we're getting.
Yeah.
And that's in all industries,
Yeah.
food, clothing, everything, because companies just be lying on things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just not like the waste, but it's also like the dyes and the synthetics and the
Yeah.
pesticides they're using in the cotton and the polyester. So, you know, I really sat with it And since
Yeah.
I got rid of so much clothes, moving to Spain literally came with like 3 suitcases. So it was like I had this opportunity now. I'm freezing my balls off here in Madrid. So I was like, this is like my chance to like really care about what I'm buying.
Yeah.
So yeah, so recently I got like a jacket. It cost a bit of money, but it's cool because it's this Milan brand, and I didn't get any down. I was like, okay, definitely, how am I gonna survive in this type of weather? I definitely didn't
Mm-hmm.
want it down. So this jacket I got, it was made of thermore technology, which is this crazy like the brand is called Especi, and their motto is making no statement since 1969. So it's pretty
Oh
cool. I was
wow.
like, wow. I was like, okay, cool. So I looked into it, and it's like this patent technology called thermore technology, and 50% of the garments materials are recycled, which is really
Oh, that's cool.
cool. Which is really cool. And I was like, wow, like I really need to think about this. And when I
Yes.
bought this jacket, I was like, okay, am I gonna use this for the next 5 to 6 years? Am I really gonna,
Right.
is this gonna pass trends? Is this garment gonna be a color that I'm actually gonna use every day? Is it really gonna last me? Are the buttons gonna last so
Right.
long that I'm gonna keep it for the next 6 years? Like I was
Right.
very, like I really thought it out. I really was sitting there. I was like, okay, I'll be X amount of years in this time. So when I got the jacket, I was like, you know what? This is gonna last me 5 to 6 years. It won't be a
Yes.
fast fashion item that I could buy at Zara. The
Yes.
trend might be super on point, but really, it's not gonna be in my closet that long. So I made sure that when I invested in this jacket yesterday, it was definitely gonna be useful. So
Yes.
shout out
Yeah.
to Thermore Technology.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think that that's one of the keys to shopping consciously is not just buying things that are big statement pieces that you think you're going to wear for this season, and then they're out of the season, like they're not on trend anymore.
Exactly.
It's buying essentials, things that will you can carry on for that live on beyond trends and you can carry on throughout years.
Exactly. And people say
Yeah.
that like, and like, oh, the Chanel classic clutch bag or things like that. It's like you could shop like that for your clothes. It doesn't have to be like a statement bag that you're going to use for the next 10 years. It could be your jacket, it could
Right.
be even your socks and underwear, you know.
Yes.
Even if it's like wool, but it's like you could use that wool piece for like 6 7 years instead of this cheap polyester cotton blend that you're going to throw away literally in 2 months, so kind of really
Yes,
think
but
about
if
it.
you are gonna wear, wool, please
Yes.
look at some wool videos first.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, so try not
Yes.
to get wool, cotton, or synthetics.
God, or other, I mean, I think there's something if you buy wool like at a thrift store because that wool already existed for however long. But when buying animal products, brand new, there's definitely an animal from very relatively within that time frame that was probably used not nicely for whatever
Exactly.
that material is.
Yes.
So, there's differences and there's scales and there's no right or wrong. It just is you got to find what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also got a vintage used flannel. That's like, it was $10, and I got a used leather jacket. I definitely cannot buy anything new leather at all. Like
Right.
it just feel horrible about it. So it's a super vintage jacket. I got that, and yeah, that's pretty much how I prepared myself for fall this time. I still need definitely get
That's
like a few
nice.
things, but I definitely I understand now the term of investment pieces. Like I'm not gonna lie, when I was 16, the highlight of my going back to school was like my mom took me Forever 21. So I was kind of like brainwashed at this
Oh,
fast.
really?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So
I mean,
like
yeah, that was because Forever 21 started in LA, so I didn't really know about Forever 21 until I was like, I don't know, like older, until they started expanding.
exactly. So, oh my God, all these amazing trendy pieces for so cheap. But that's
Wow.
what
Yeah.
the normal American family, when they're going to the
Right.
mall, they don't know about these crazy
I know.
situations. They don't know the cost
Yeah.
of the goods. They have no idea that a lady
Yeah.
from Bangladesh made that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even me, even us. It's every day we learn something new on some crazy industry. Like I was watching that show Explained. Damn, Netflix, you gotta sponsor us or
I
something
know.
because we're just throwing you out there.
Yeah.
But I was watching that show Explained, and they were talking about. Was it Explained? I think it was Explained. Oh, maybe it was a different one. But anyway, they were talking about a war with garlic, and I was just shocked that even the garlic industry has these crazy things behind it.
It's like mafia
And it made
shit.
me it made me realize, I was like, dude, everything is fucked up we just don't know about it. But once we
Exactly.
start looking into things, it's like, man, you uncover that, man, we just gotta just put more of that information out there. And luckily, we're in the 21st century and we can share this shit. So share any information and everything that you have and put it out there, because it's like it's important for everyone to know about fast fashion, about the mafia with garlic,
Dude,
about
avocados in Mexico, have you heard about that? Oh my
yeah,
God.
there's
It's like the
even in
cartel.
it's crazy. Even right now in Chile, there's this huge water shortage because they've been growing so much avocados to export. And obviously,
Yes.
the Chileans can't even eat the avocados, and we're using all their water
I
to
heard.
export all these avocados.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Water is going to be the biggest source of everything. It's going to be the new.
Water's Yep.
Yeah, water's gonna be it. So
Yep.
you guys, be cautious about your water usage. Make sure that you are not wasting your water, making sure that you're
Yeah.
not just like letting your water run, making sure that you're using
Right.
products that don't use so much water to actually create the product, whether
Yes.
it's your clothes, your fruits, vegetables, any type of things that need water, which everything involves water. Just look into
Right.
it. Look into the cost
It
of water,
is.
because they're not costing it correctly, and that's why it's getting super wasted.
Yeah. And well, and that and pollution, that we're not really protecting the environment, and the environment is our natural water sources. And right now, like you said, people dump all these crazy dyes and all these terrible pesticides and chemicals into rivers, and that's clean water that is no longer drinkable. So it's
Exactly.
definitely an issue. Things are definitely occurring. So
Dude.
let's talk about shopping bulk and doing refill, because me and Laura have
Yeah.
really, that was, yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing. Liz has super inspired me to be super gung ho about the refill zero waste grocery store system.
Yeah.
So
It's
tell
so
me,
cool that you ended up you found one in Madrid.
yeah. So Madrid's been kind of hard because I feel like in LA I was so used to these kind of places where it's like, okay, zero waste, all these holistic stores, things that you can, these crazy small boutique cookie cutter independent brand like places you can do these things. But in Madrid it's not like that. It's like I feel like it's a bit like 7 years back, but also very
Yeah, because
forward.
everything is in plastic, right? Everything comes in plastic.
Yeah, and I don't live close
Yeah.
to the center, and that's where most of the hipsters are. And like, I'm basically a hipster,
Oh.
basically a hipster. That's conscious.
I know. I'm always like, I don't want to be a hipster, but
I'm like,
I
yeah, we're
know.
so yeah, so it was cool. Like one of my Airbnb properties has this place, and it was this cute little French lady, and every time I pass by, it's closed or no one's ever in there. So one day I took like my old my like cleaning disinfectant spray bottles and my laundry detergent bottle that was empty, and I brought it over to her. And I'm so glad I did, because she was super helpful. She filled up everything. And the store was so visually beautiful to look at. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I did, because it's so important to shop small and support small female businesses. Even
Yes.
though it's a bit more expensive, in the long run, it will
Right.
help overall, like society
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah. And some things are more expensive, but some things are more affordable, like
Yeah.
when you buy it from there. So it really just, it's kind of, sometimes I feel like it's a wash, because some things are more expensive, but then some things aren't.
Yeah, nothing hurts to support a small business, especially a female business. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then she ended up selling me this skin. I have super dry skin. She gave me this super hydrating bar of soap, which is awesome. That
Oh,
it didn't
amazing.
have any packaging. The point is to be zero
Yes.
waste, no packaging. Literally just
Yes.
go get your shit, or just reuse the plastic, or don't have any paper or plastic wrapping.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude.
Liz
So
Liz
cool.
inspired me to do that, because she's been on that tip for like the past several years. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I got to go in there.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you did that and you found the lady, and hopefully you develop a friendship with her, and who knows what you'll do next.
Yeah. So yeah, like I hope so too. And I was like, I made sure I shout her out on my social media so people in other
Nice.
parts of Madrid can go see her. I was like, I really hope
Yes.
that the culture of our world kind of moves more towards the zero waste grocery stores. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
refill model, which emphasizes on reducing packaging and waste. But I actually read
Yes.
some studies recently, and they said that people that have started in New York and Barcelona and different parts of the world, after like 12 months, it actually didn't change the way people it helped a little, but overall it didn't change people's lifestyles so much, because when people are so out and about in their life, they don't go back home to
Yeah.
get their zero waste stuff, because most people go to the grocery store when they're after work, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it
Right.
was like a lot of places shut down um because of low
Right.
sales. So
Yes, I know. Yeah, the world isn't there yet, but there definitely is a bigger consciousness than ever. So
yes.
it's like this is definitely the time for, if a company or if a brand was ever gonna do well, this is the time.
Yes.
Definitely.
I still think that it's
Yeah.
going to take a few more years, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
obviously I think with trends, and especially at the rate of the planet, I think these stores will obviously, it's all tests, you know? It's like you're going to start a business, it could fail, wrong
Yeah.
time, like, you know, it's all about trends and hype, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yes.
But what's
Yeah.
really
So.
interesting is that
Mm-hmm.
sorry to tell, I just want to tell you quickly. Russ told me that there's a sign in our front of our building that's saying that they're going to start collecting compost from everybody in the
So
city
cool.
to feed
Amazing.
the compost to all the parks.
So cool, yeah, dude. Because it makes amazing fertilizer. So whenever you compost, your waste becomes dirt, and that dirt is fertilizer. So you usually mix it with a bit of other dirt because it's very rich, it's nutrient rich, and so they can use that, and that's basically free fertilizer for them.
So cool, right?
That's super dope.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. That's what every city needs, because those kind of things are things that are going to change the world. It's the city recognizing, wait, we can save money here. Why
Yeah.
are we using this old archaic system?
Exactly.
Let's do this
So I
instead.
feel like LA, that's where LA and like the States might be super late, because we don't have these insanely beautiful parks. Like
Right.
here, that's like what they give back to the
Right.
city and the people is like these
Yeah.
insanely gorgeous, well kept parks, like millions and millions of dollars they
Yes.
put into this. So we might be late on some certain things, but come on, composting, that's amazing.
Yes. Oh yeah, dude, so amazing.
So definitely check
Yeah,
out
yeah.
Liz's post on Instagram. She breaks it down on her composting.
Yeah, so I mean, remember a few months ago when we first our first episode of the podcast, maybe or the third, I talk about what I'm doing and what I really am striving to do, and back then it was really commit to zero waste. So 2019 was all about less waste for me, creating less waste, and really reevaluating how I shop. And so this year we've done amazing things in our house. We've just been really able to focus on what we want to do and go forward with it. So I've been shopping at the refill stores here in LA,
Yes.
even at the farmers markets, and going there because the refill station used to be there. And I have like a whole system going. I have all my bottles. I have like my little list. I refill whenever I need, and whenever I refill, I just go and I refill all the things that I need versus like doing it one by one. I just kind of do one trip and I refill on everything I need: laundry detergent, deodorant. They even have toothpaste,
Yes.
hand soap, dish soap, shampoo, conditioner. So I've been really having a lot of fun trying all these new products and trying to find my next go-to, because not every shampoo is created equal. So
Yeah.
so I'm trying to find the brands and the refill options that work for me. And so little by little I'm finding these things. So it's been so great.
Hell
And then
yeah.
also, yeah, and like you said, we did a podcast. I mean, not a podcast. This is a podcast. We did a blog on that, and it shares all of the different refill options all throughout LA for spices, for vegetables. I
Hell
have a list of
yeah.
all the different things. So that's on plantlikethings.com, and you guys should definitely use that as a resource, because I did so much work and I want to save you guys time. So it'll be nice if you used it.
Yes. Liz is the number one in LA. I'm telling you guys. You guys are sleeping on plant like things. So
Plant like things.
check it
Yes.
out. So
Yes, dude.
talking
But
about
also, I want to talk about composting too, because
okay.
we've now been composting for 6 months,
Uh huh.
and we haven't made fertilizer yet, but we were supposed to make fertilizer at the 6 month mark, and we're finally making like dirt, and almost all of our compost is more dirt than it is waste.
That's so
Our
awesome.
trash. And it's so fun. I can't take any of the dirt yet, but I know I'll be able to in like probably a few more months. But it's so nice because our trash decreased by 50 to 75%. We take out like a trash bag once every 2 weeks.
Damn, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy? I realized that our trash was almost all vegetable scraps because we eat a lot of vegetables. And I was like, man, I can't believe it. And so we even have a friend. I have a friend, Corinne, now brings her composting over to the house. And so in a way, I'm even starting like a little mini community compost
Hell
because she brings all
yeah.
her compost over and I'm helping her save trash and then also putting it to work, putting all these nutrient dense things that we consider trash to work.
Damn, you
So I'm
guys are
excited.
goals, dude. I'm gonna get my composting shit on lock over here in Madrid, all right? Fuck. That's so dope.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
yes. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah.
patience, you gotta have patience, you gotta be mindful, and you have to prepare yourself too. You're like, okay, this is gonna go to the compost bin. Like, you just have to put that
Right.
extra time in. I know it's a pain in the ass, and
It is.
conveniency is the reason why our planet is literally suffering. So
Exactly.
get out of
Yeah.
being convenient, get out of it being convenient, get out of your comfort zone,
Yes.
start composting. I mean,
Yeah.
I could tell you to do all this shit, but it's really up to you. And it's your own timeline, but
Ultimately.
we're just trying to give this information out so people can get inspired.
Yeah, and what works for us isn't going to work for everybody. So
Exactly.
if maybe if veganism is something that you don't want to do, then maybe you can compost. And if composting is something that you can do, then maybe refill. It's not about doing anything perfectly. It's about doing something, whatever that is for you. And so I think that's why it's super important.
Exactly.
And it's important to also reevaluate how we live our lives. And for me, I now carry my refill stuff with me all the time. Like I have a bag where all my stuff is in there, and whenever I'm going to the store, I pick up that bag and I go to the store and I have everything already set up. So as soon as something's dirty, I wash it, I clean it, I put it back in that bag. And it just has helped me stay organized and has helped me it's helped me really commit to this less waste living and lifestyle.
Hell yeah. Do you know anybody that's this fucking dedicated? I don't think you do. Anybody? So get
Only
with
on
a
the
friend.
internet.
Yeah, exactly. Like
On the internet, but not
dude,
I haven't
cheers.
met anyone else in real life.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Because you guys are definitely. I mean, there's people and generations have been doing it years and years before us, but I think
Yes.
that our generation is everyone. All these memes talking about these generational wounds and these traumas and stuff. And it's like we're getting to rewrite how we want to live our future. We don't have to do it the way our
Yeah.
parents did or our great grandparents did or whatever. So
Yes.
now it's like our time to rewrite the rules. Do it with what works for you. And if you're gonna be like a gangster like Liz and keeping your fucking stuff in your backpack, so be it. And if you look crazy, that's fine.
I know.
But
I know too. Yeah. Sometimes people are like, "What? You're like
extreme.
This is so much."
Because
I'm
you
like,
are
"Dude,
you are an
this is-
extremist when it comes
Yeah.
to like zero waste veganism. But Liz is great because her and Chris don't like shove it down your throat like other activists. Liz is very like, oh yeah, do your thing.
Yeah. I think it's important to meet people where they are, and every type of voice and activism there's a place for all of them, because I think different voices change and affect different people. But for me, I found that it just works best when I allow people to ask me things and come to me whenever they need help, and I support my friends in whatever they do, and I just hope that they're all doing their best, and
Yes.
that's it.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone's inspired by everyone's movements, whether it be big or small. I think we all
Yes.
just have to be conscious and not where it needs to be like this crazy money making situation, or like, because I could see how some zero waste things can be generated into buying more stuff too. It's like, okay, you might not have the beautiful, glass jars to put your stuff in. It's
Right.
like, it's okay. You don't have to
don't need that.
everything doesn't have to be so like blog worthy or post worthy or
No.
like
Yes.
home decor ready. You could use the same plastic stuff. You could use stuff that
Yeah.
you have around in your house. Again, it doesn't have to be
Yes.
so extreme, so don't
That's
feel like
key.
you need to,
That's key. Using what you already have,
Yeah.
because those things already exist, So it's like you have a bunch of old you have a bunch of salsas in your fridge, and then once you're done with them, use those things to buy bulk, to go get beans from the bulk section,
Exactly.
whatever. Just use all those things. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to have all the super foo fancy stuff, but that's not necessary,
It's
and
not
that
necessary.
can come with time.
yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, invest in a label maker. That's what you should get.
Yes, dude. Oh my God, I know. Thank you.
It's like some people have aesthetic, that's the aesthetic better be on point. Okay guys,
Right.
so moving on
Yeah.
to what we want to talk to next. Do you have any new products that you're enjoying, new or old products that you like are totally all about?
I mean, I love rose water, and so I'm like obsessed with rose water, and I'm really obsessed with essential oil kind of perfumey type things.
Yes.
That one that you gave me, remember when we went to that to Topanga?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that thing. And so that's kind of what I'm really excited about for now. It's like that kind of
Essential
stuff and continuing
oils.
to try all this refill stuff. Just really trying to find, like, right now, I really need to buy a face wash. I'm out of face wash, but I can't find a refill face wash yet. So
That's hard.
I'm really just doing all the research trying to find what face wash is going to be the next thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. I mean, I'm sure if you could probably make your own essential one with like some sort of natural glycerin. I'm sure you could probably,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, it's fine to
Yeah.
just test it out and like it doesn't hurt because
Yeah.
I've worked with so many like beauty brands and I see that majority of the time like their cost of goods is like $3 and they're selling for
Yeah,
like
it's not.
50
Yeah.
bucks. It's like it's crazy the
Right.
markup these beauty brands make, even like these clean product brands. It's
Hmm.
like you could probably just make it from your own kitchen.
Oh, it's true. And there is a store here that is a refill type store, and what this store is good for is to buy stuff to make your own cosmetics, because
Yes.
the things that they have are really geared towards making your own. So maybe I'll look up some recipes on the internet and try to make that. So for me, products that I'm enjoying are just things that I'm trying to either like make or just learn about.
Okay. Liz, I have to run
Yeah.
to the restroom so bad. I was trying to hold it. So I'm just
Okay,
going to put it
okay.
down and stay still. Okay, I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Okay, okay. Oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna go too then.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
All right, so I hear you, Salami.
Liz.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, damn, I need to use the bathroom super bad.
I know that was good too. I had to use the bathroom too.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we want to talk about? What do we want to talk about for the rest of it? Should we go into like the gossip and relationship advice, and then just talk about what we learned with the podcast, and then cut it there, or should we keep?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
It's been
it's
because
still
it's
not,
been about
it's still nothing juicy, which is,
yeah.
I feel like we always talk about this crazy, like, conscious stuff, and I feel like I wish that we kind of talked more fun stuff, what girls actually want to hear, you know?
So then why don't we do the gossip stuff, and but try to put this gossip stuff in like closer to the beginning of the episode,
Okay, got it, yeah.
so that this stuff is, so that takes kind of more precedent, and that pushes people to listen to it longer.
Yeah, okay. We'll
So
see,
we can
because
go
I don't know
into
how to
like the
edit this thing,
gossip.
but we'll figure
Let's
it
go
out.
into the gossip and events that we've attended, because like there's some gossip and events we attend too.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna try hypnotherapy next week, but that's not a big deal. I
Okay.
could talk about how it is after.
Oh yeah, true. What do
Okay.
you think? Should we do those two things and then
No, let's just talk about the gossip part, I guess.
the gossip? And do you want to talk about the like events and stuff, or no?
We talk about that. Maybe what I miss about LA. I think that's pretty good because
Okay.
people are like,
Okay, yeah, okay. So
yeah,
what you miss about LA, and then gossip, and then maybe just what we hope for the next season.
got it.
And then we'll try to put like the gossipy stuff in the front of the episode.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. What do you want to start with? Okay, we could start with what you miss about LA.
Yes. So
Oh, hold on. Salami's walking upstairs. Your little nails. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Laura, so tell us, now that you've been in Spain, how long have you been in Spain now?
8 months.
6 months? Oh,
8
8 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
What do you
know.
miss about LA
I
and
miss,
what?
I miss, I mean, I'm gonna be super raw about what the fuck I miss about LA.
Yeah.
I definitely miss the Mexican food. That's one damn thing I miss. I think I
Yeah.
said that in the last podcast. I'm like, wow, like leaving LA, I took so many things for granted. And I think that always happens with everything. Could be relationships, could be like
Definitely.
things you were sleeping on. I miss LA.
Yes.
You know what I miss? I mean, I was so dialed in Los Angeles. I feel like with networking and my friends and just events and where to go, how to
Yeah.
get around. I miss like I feel like there was like a privilege in LA, which just sounds so like stuck up and could be egotistical, but I feel like I miss the privilege, the gifting, getting free stuff all the time in
I
LA and like
know.
the amazing fun events. It's like I'm out here in Madrid
Yeah.
and my network is really small and I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm meeting new people, but
Yeah.
relearning from like the PR companies to amazing people that are throwing the events. It's going to take like another 3 to 4 years. I don't know how long I'll be in
Yeah.
Madrid, but I do miss LA and I miss that fun diverse culture of like race and genders and man, I miss seeing like Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and black people and Asian people and damn, it's like cuz it's a lot of like white Spanish people here, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, so you miss the culture and diversity. Yeah, because the LA culture, gifting and events and parties and
Dude.
music and being next to celebrities and your friend dating the celebrity, it's such a part of LA, you know?
It's like
It's definitely
the entertainment is relentless in
Yeah.
LA. It's like you need to go to an art show, you want to listen to a foodie podcast, like whatever, it's
Yep.
there. Like anything you want to touch is there, and but that's where all the distraction comes from too. You know?
Yeah. So so what are the parties and how's the gifting in Madrid, and why is it different?
I mean, I feel like Madrid is late on kind of product seeding to people, and I think
Okay.
that it's important to let people try and give out your product for free. If you have like a product or a brand or
Yeah.
any type of service, you need to give out a lot of free things for people to review, tell their friends. Word of mouth is huge.
Word of mouth.
That's
yeah.
the biggest thing. It's like Uber didn't even like advertise that hard. I'm sure they did when they first started, but it's like it's word of mouth, you know? So yeah, I just got gifted these cool organic tampons from this brand called Womaland. It's supposed to be
Nice.
pesticide free and all these things, which was cool because I couldn't find any organic tampons in the supermarkets here.
Oh,
Like,
get out.
I mean, unless I go to like a crazy bio market, but I
Right.
don't want to do that because I don't know. I just didn't want to do that. I'd rather still shop small when it comes to like sanitary stuff.
Okay.
So I'm excited to try that. And yeah, I just miss my friends and damn that vibe in LA is just I grew up in that and I fucking miss the shit of it. But
Yeah.
every day I'm here, I'm like sometimes I'm looking out my fucking window. I'm like, damn, I can't believe I live in Spain. Like, holy fuck, this is
I know.
amazing. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Europe.
I mean, I think you don't realize things about where you grew up until you leave, and you don't really appreciate places like LA until you leave and just kind of really spend a lot of time somewhere else.
Yes.
LA is super special. Like,
my
I mean, I tell everyone this, that it's just there's something happening every night, and there's just something different happening and there's just so much to get inspired by.
I mean, yes. And if it's not the entertainment, you can go into the woods, you can go into the desert. It's just I miss the camping with
Yeah.
my buddies and
I
I miss going to
know.
the beach. I missed all of that and Spain has it all
Yeah.
and it has it better too, but I just have to tap into
Yeah.
it more. I have to get more settled like people and it's hard to kind of
Yeah.
make friends here. It's like I've met like some cool people that are doing some really nice startups here. I met this dude Harrison who's out here doing a startup for product design for clothing manufacturing. He's pretty cool. He's from New York. He like worked for Ralph Lauren for 7 years. He's out here
Nice.
killing it, and
Legit.
it's just cool just to meet new people. And I think that
Yeah.
when you move to another country or another city, it takes time, guys, to make a legit amount of
Yes.
your community. It's not going to
It
be
does.
like 4 months. Those are probably going to be very shallow, like very empty friendships, but it's going to take, 8 months to 2 years to find your
Yeah.
groove, you know?
Yeah, agree for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, to find your circle, to feel comfortable, even for yourself, just to feel comfortable with someone and really
Yeah.
build that rapport and experience.
Dude, exactly. Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
like having pets? If you're like
Yeah.
if you're like like an adult and your family doesn't even live in that same city as you, having a friend that'll watch your pet or having a friend that
Oh,
like watch
yes.
your house to like water your plants, like do not take that for granted, y'all, because I don't have that here in Madrid.
Yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
that in a small amount, and we have family here too, but like
Yeah.
like when I first moved here, I was like, wow, I have like 7 friends that I could call in LA to help me with like watching my house. And I don't have that here, and it's like I really have to.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that you can trust people, you know?
Yeah, that's why it does take time. But but on the positive side of having to develop new friendships, you get to really choose the friends that you want. So you choose people that are on the same level and on the same path as you, which I think is a really unique experience as well,
Yes.
because now you really get to design who you have around you
Yes.
and
Yeah.
really put the time into who you want to put the time into.
Yeah, I mean, I met like the first person I met was this really awesome group of girls, Patricia and her sister Nasita. They're all into healing, they're all into spirituality, but they're into fashion, they're into music, and I'm like, wow, you guys are on my wave, and you guys are not like egotistical at all. You guys are not some crazy like Instagram influencers. They're just real ass people, and
Yeah.
it's just really nice and refreshing because there's this kind of like LA can go really hard on like the entertaining and the stunting and the influence, but Spain masters the art of relaxation and enjoying life and not needing to
Yeah,
like impress and not needing to flex and not needing. It's like it's extremely rude to ask what do you do in
Oh,
Spain.
really?
Like it's like forbidden.
No way.
Yes, dude.
Wow.
Yes, isn't that crazy? And like
Yeah.
that's the first thing you do when you move, when you're in LA or in another in a crazy city like that. It's like, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
Or
I know. I don't like it. I don't like when people do that. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like, do I gotta tell you all right away? I just met you. I know, yeah, but it's because people are looking for connects here. It's like they're looking for things to do. So it's like, oh, what do you do? Like, how can maybe we do something together? So I feel like people, but yeah, I think that definitely is. I feel like that would be more freeing to not know that about
Exactly.
someone, because
yes,
then you're really, because sometimes somebody will be like, oh, well, I'm an accountant, so then automatically you're like, oh, well, they must be good with numbers and they must not really like people and all these different things, right?
Yeah.
But without knowing what they are, you really just see them for who they are.
yes, and it's crazy because it's like in LA, even if you go into like a dope industry party or a dope like store opening, there is this kind of
There's a spider here, sorry. Right in front of my face. He landed down right in front of my face.
He's saying hi.
Okay. Keep going. Okay, yeah.
He's like, so what are you saying about LA? The spider.
Okay.
So when you walk into a party in LA, there's still a kind of pretentiousness. Even if you're someone that everyone loves in LA, there's still a form of pretentiousness and this kind of like I'm too cool type of vibe, and like Spain does not have that, and
Yeah.
it's so fucking refreshing. Even like the biggest influencers here that I've had a chance to hang out with, they don't even have that. They're not even like, oh dude, I gotta go, or like, oh man,
Yeah.
I gotta move, I gotta keep moving. And it's like it's not like that
Right.
here. People are really they're gonna be here for the dinner that's 4 or 5 hours, and they're chilling and they're conversating with everybody and they're kissing every single person when they leave on the cheek. It's like it's the crazy.
I love it.
It's a crazy connection here. People love to connect.
Yeah.
Like everyone connects
Yeah.
here. It's like on this other level, and it's like I really needed to leave like LA to kind of understand another form of socializing. You know?
So when you had that taco night, let's say you had like a big taco night and you had all your friends over, no one was checking their phone, really?
No.
Oh, so nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's always, I love when people come over and nobody checks their phone and you're like in this time warp.
Yeah, and they support you. And I feel like in LA, it's hard because people are doing so much in LA, whether it be their family parties or a new event or a speaking event or like come to my party. It's like people are really
Yeah.
supporting here. And it's really refreshing, but fuck,
Yeah.
dude, regardless of how dope Spain is, I fucking miss LA. I miss the food. I miss my
Yeah.
friends. I miss the vibe. The vibe there, like driving in the fucking car with your music, with your buds, like going to the beach, going camping. Like there's just like an unforgettable feeling. This magic,
Yes, I can't.
you know?
Can't wait for you to come. Can't wait for you to come back and go camping with us and stuff.
Yes, let's do it up.
Yeah.
We have a wedding to plan.
Yeah, I'm excited. The wedding, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in some other episode. There's so much to plan.
Yes. So
Cool.
so about
hold
LA.
hold on, Laura. Laura, can you hold on a
Yeah.
second? I gotta check these text messages. They're from my client. Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Continue here.
Okay, so speaking about friends, what is everyone going through right now? A lot of our friends are kind of going through these crazy shifts
Yes.
and breakups, whether it be with their boyfriends or with their best friends, all that stuff. There's like
Yeah,
this crazy
or their
shift.
brother or their sister. It just seems like there's this energy that's happening that's, I don't know, either cleansing people from your path that no longer suit where you're at, or it's just, big shifts happening. And yeah, I'm curious as to why that's occurring, because a lot of our friends, like you said, are going through a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of life, definitely. Like some of my girlfriends are having, they're breaking up with their boyfriends or guys that they're dating. And usually I feel like when my girlfriends break up with their boyfriends, it's always like this ongoing story about like, I don't know what happened, or like, what should I do? It's kind of like this unhealthy pattern of like expressing how they feel or what they're going through. And now I'm talking to all my girlfriends that are going through these breakups, and they're all kind of like in this amazing healthy state. They're like, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to like get on my health game. I'll be fine in a few months. Like, it's crazy. Before, when my friends used to break up their boyfriends, they talk all this shit about the guy. Now they don't even talk shit about the guy. They're like, oh, it actually didn't work. It's fine.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it's because the age that we're all at, we know that if things don't suit us, like, then they go away, and it all makes sense looking back. Everything, every relationship, every fight, every step, I feel like when you look back, makes sense.
Yeah.
And we all turned out fine, so I think everyone will be fine. They just gotta navigate the wave of change that's currently occurring.
Yeah, or like shit talking about the person. It's like people, like, if you're gonna get in a fight with someone and you're gonna shit talk about them or about everything, it's like, if, for example, if my friend is gonna talk shit about her ex-boyfriend, you can't agree with them if they're gonna end up getting back with them.
Right. I know that's hard.
I think that's the hardest part, is like, he's like this or he's whack, and then you're like, yeah, you're right, he is whack and he is a piece of shit, and then 2 months later they're back together. The smarter thing to do, ladies, is not just to support and listen. Do not chime in. Do not tell her what she needs to do. Just listen and be there, because I've been there where I'm like, yeah, you're right, he is a piece of shit, and then they get back together in 2 months. So it's like,
and then you're like, "Duh," and then you just feel funny, or then maybe they don't feel like they can come to you for future things that are occurring.
Exactly, because you know too much
you
dirt.
said bad things about them.
Yeah. So I think that definitely just keep it open, keep your heart open, and just listen and support, for sure.
And trust the process. If someone just isn't feeling you energetically, and you guys just aren't on the same wavelength, then it's okay to step away from someone. Friend, let's call them friend breakups, for lack of a better term. But it's okay. It's important. We all evolve as people, and sometimes friends don't evolve to the same place where you're at, or they evolve to a different place, and so it's good to just cleanse that if it needs to.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard. The hard part is definitely, it's so easier said than done, because especially when friends get in arguments, you go back to the comfort. You know, even like even
Right.
if it's a toxic comfort, it's something that you're
Yeah.
used to having. So that's the part is like breaking off the toxic fighting, you know, having creating boundaries and actually staying with those boundaries. You know, I think that's very important. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what you got to do. You just got to
Yes.
write a letter, put it on your wall, and make sure that you understand your boundaries, and make sure that no one is taking away that energy from you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You always
Yeah.
got to be your biggest like advocate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
it, Lizzie.
Well, oh wait, let's talk about we're going to talk about for what we want to what we hope for the next season.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what we learned from creating the podcast.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that those clips we're going to go like kind of closer to the beginning, so then we'll just so we'll just go into okay. You want to ask me?
Yeah. So Liz, okay,
Okay.
so it's our this will be our ninth episode. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like this podcast was extremely like made from the heart. It was made from like
Yeah.
our heart, and I feel like it was very easygoing and stress free, even though some things were hard to coordinate. But other than
Yeah.
that, I feel like this was just a joyful project that we kind of embarked on. How do you feel about it? How do you feel? What did
Yeah,
you learn from creating this podcast?
yeah. I mean, the first thing I learned was just that creating a podcast is it's a lot of work, you know? It's
Yes.
definitely
Yes.
it's rewarding, but it's a lot of work. Like you said, coordinating schedules and getting guests in here, picking guests and pitching them to one another because, you know, we work on everything collaboratively. So if I have an idea of somebody that I want to be on the show, we talk about it first, and so it's been a lot of fun to just put in a different type of work into something and then watch like this labor of love turn into things that our friends are listening to and people are supporting and things that we can listen to as well. So it's been cool. I've just learned how to up my game for continuing to work and then do
Exactly.
all of that stuff for like this pod and just learning all the stuff with the podcast with the audio and just there's so much more to learn. So it's just been fun to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this podcast has been challenging, and I think that, you know, sharing these different diverse range of women's stories is super vital for
Yeah.
our society and women going into the next 2020 year.
Yes.
Um, you
Yeah.
know, you know, our first podcast was December 8th, and we've had recorded 8 hard-hitting topics, and I
Yeah.
think that with each episode it'll get better and better, and we'll learn
Mm-hmm.
more and more of, you know, this is our first project, but
Yeah.
I think it's so vital for content creators like us to have different forms of communication. We did it
Mm-hmm.
audio. You can have visual. You have
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. So if some one of those
Mm-hmm.
shut down, make sure that you are
Yes.
putting out different types of content. And this is our other form of giving back, and it's another
Yes.
form of media. You know, so
Yeah.
it's been
It
fun.
is. Yeah, it's been super fun and it's exciting to meet all the new people that we've had on the show as well. Some of them are people that I know and then some are people that you know, and so we get to just meet these different people. I got to meet, you know, Lauren, and that was really cool. So even within this process, we get to meet new people, just like you guys get to meet new people by listening to their stories and hearing their experiences.
Yeah. My family recently, my uncle passed away, and all my family members were in a van together, and
Yeah.
we interviewed Nicole Gomez, my cousin who's a chef, about her
Yeah.
journey through the culinary Hollywood field, and they listened to it and they're like, wow, like they didn't know,
Amazing.
they didn't know anything about her career or who she's dating
Yeah.
now, and it's like, so they're all in the van listening, and it's really cool. It's like a storytelling. It's so important, and it's
I
so
love
important. It's so
that.
vital for us to keep the pendulum moving and push the needle forward, you know?
Yeah, that's so cool that they all listen to it. I love that.
Yeah. Even her mom was in the car.
So
She just like,
cute.
her
Oh
mom
my
was like, I didn't know she's
gosh.
dating someone new. I'm like, well, now you know.
Oops, no, I'm kidding. But dude, no, I wish we had a sorry, my video cut out. I'm restarting it. No, I wish we had a video of them listening to it.
I know.
That'd be super cute.
Yeah. So, you know, what I hope for next season for the Conscious Kitchen, um, the title says it all. Usually, you meet with people in the kitchen. It's like it's the heart of your home, and you keep these conversations going, meaningful conversations that are
Yes.
hard to hear sometimes, but in the long run, they will resonate with you. You can relate to someone, whether it be like their story or a struggle they've been through. So, we hope for next season we'll have just better technical improvements and better guests, and just brand sponsorship that resonate with us, that want to make quality content.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our previous guests were so amazing. We just want to continue to give you guys something to listen to that resonates with you. So our goal with this podcast is to have an episode that you can go on there and you can be like, wait, that's me. I want to listen to this. So we just want to continue to further talking about those discussions and those topics that are hard hitting and resonate with somebody out there in the world. So a lot of good topics coming up next.
Yes. And, we just hope for, we're just riding this wave of like this healing consciousness, and, for more love out in those audio waves, more love to the planet. Hopefully we're all healing and the planet's healing, and, as much conscious awakening as possible. I think that's super important, and just, it would really help us if you just tell a friend, subscribe to our podcast, or share one of our Instagram posts. Like that's all that we need for people to hear us more globally and to have a bigger podcast community.
Yes. Yeah. Just share, and like Laura said, you can even leave us a review. That's super helpful. Just put it out there. Just get it out there and get it going, and so we can just keep telling different stories. And if you have any suggestions on things that you want us to cover, or just any suggestions that you want to send through, please send them along. Constructive criticism is everything, and so we rely on that, and we appreciate it.
Yes. So that concludes the last episode of our season 1 of The Conscious Kitchen at the Rave Den in LA.
Welcome.
And in my studio in Madrid.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you guys for listening.
See
you guys soon.
Yes. Wait, quick shout out to Beats by Dre. Shout out to my amazing co-host partner, Liz. Thank you so much for all the coordination and doing this journey with me. Can't wait to do season 2. Biatch!
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Yeah, who's going to be on it? I know.
All right, guys. Take care.
Guys.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Sending love.
Love, love, love.